And I'm live. Welcome to An American Werewolf in New Jersey. I am the American Werewolf. Completely unsolicited, I decided to go live. And what I've done, I just came back from my dad's place. So it's Werewolf Wednesday. Happy Werewolf Wednesday, everyone. And as I was hanging out with him for a little bit, I asked a question I had long been wanting to ask him, which is, can I take some of your movies? Because over decades and decades, I just stacked their video collections, my parents' video collections, for things that my mom would sometimes watch, but I would kind of have to be there for her to do it, and for things that my dad never watched and were never going to watch. And mom's been gone since 2015, and so these movies have literally been gathering dust in his house. And he just looked at me like I was crazy, and he was like, why the fuck are you asking me this? Like, I never watched these. He's like, take all of them. He goes, I don't want them. So I won't go so far as to do that. But I thought, what the hell? I'm just going to look them over, grab some, and turn it into a stream. I've got another live stream coming up in just over an hour. I'm going to be with Sydney from Cinema Cities, doing a stream for 2022's Black Crab, which is one of the best action movies of 2022 of this year. That, of course, no one's talking about it because people only ever talk about shit. Or they complain about shit, which is actually better. I mean, it'd be one thing to just say, like, this is shit, and like, what the fuck's the problem here? But a lot of the content is just endlessly talking about shit like it's good. And I don't do that. But when good things actually get released, it's like I'm the only person that I can think of that actually discusses these films. A few other people. There are a few other channels out there, Geeking with James Hancock, Cinema Cities, she's great. A few others out there. But basically, I mean, there are some people like Eric from Hey Internet, Eric here. And he talks about shitty movies on purpose. So it's a little tongue in cheek, and I love Eric to death, and we'll be streaming later tonight to talk about a movie, 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that, you're like so invested and excited, and you're just like, are you fucking kidding me? What are you, 4? You got the attention span of like a 12-year-old. So that brings me back to me. And I thought that I would go through these movies that I grabbed and share them with you. I haven't announced this stream, but I didn't feel like doing a live record, an upload later. And I just, let's do a stream. And if somebody's in the chat, then they're in the chat. And if they want to watch it later, then that's fine too. So if you're watching this, subscribe to the channel. I'm talking about top shelf shit, the very best. That's what I'm talking about. Things that people just aren't talking about because, they're talking about the mainstream stuff. And this is like the dumbest time in history. And so, someone has to, kind of show you where the North Star is. And, that's what I try to do. Okay, so the first DVD that I got, let's see, is the complete third season of The Walking Dead. And I have the first 2 seasons back here somewhere, and I think they're in Blu-ray. I don't know why this is in DVD. Might have just been the times. But this was just one of the hottest fucking shows out there at the time it had been released. And it went on that way for about another 4 or 5 seasons, maybe 6 seasons. It started to go off the rails a little bit after that, but it's just a shit hot show. And the perk of physical media is that, hey, if I decide I feel like watching The Walking Dead, I don't need an AMC subscription. I can just pull my copy out and say, yeah, let's watch Rick and Daryl and the gang get down. Okay, second movie. Tom Cruise's War of the Worlds, Steven Spielberg. Again, these are DVDs. So these are a little bit older. But again, another shit hot movie. Tom Cruise, just, he might be the last movie star, the real movie star out there, bringing it to you. Tim Robbins is in this, and he's absolutely terrifying. A young Dakota Fanning, just a great, great film. I don't know that I would get right down with the first 3 seasons of The Walking Dead, but I know that this is definitely a movie that I would just like pop in right now and watch. It would just be fucking great. I haven't seen it in forever. And so I think this is going to jump to the front of the queue or close to it. Hey, what's happening? We got Video Tasties here in the chat saying good afternoon. Well, it's not quite afternoon here. It's almost 12. It's 11:48 a.m. Here on the East Coast in New Jersey. But what's up? Just thought to do this on a whim. I got another live stream in about an hour. So why the hell not? Let's just do it. The next one, I've got not every movie is going to be a horror movie or a sci-fi movie. I love a good Western. And so that brings me to Ron Howard's The Missing, which is kind of in the tradition of John Ford, in that it's about a girl who gets kidnapped by some pretty savage Native Americans. Her mother is played by Cate Blanchett, and Cate Blanchett's father, who was kind of a deadbeat dad as he sort of blended in with the tribes instead of being a white man, is played by Tommy Lee Jones and returns to help her in the search. Yeah, The Missing is a great film. I love to watch it. It's one of those movies you don't watch very often, and it's usually like you can see it advertised on the streaming channels, but there's nothing for me that's so comforting, as you can tell, as owning your own copies, because these digital libraries are fickle, and these are crazy times. Okay, let's move on. The next movie, a fun one, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. I know that Tom Holland is Spider-Man, and then Garfield before him. I wasn't a huge fan of Garfield, but I am a huge fan of Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, with the great Willem Dafoe, the Macho Man Randy Savage. I mean, you couldn't put together a better cast. Kirsten Dunst is hot as hell back in the day, playing Mary Jane. Just a great film, a lot of fun. I remember 20 years ago when this came out, we were just blown away that they were able to do something like this. So again, another movie that I'm happy to add to my collection. And that brings me right to the next one after that, which is Spider-Man 2 with, again, Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst. Who's Doc Ock in this? Oh, God, what's his name? Alfred Molina. Alfred Molina is great in this as Dr. Octopus. Yeah, it's been 20 years, man. 20 fucking years. Can you believe it? 20 years. I'll tell you what, though. I'll put these movies up against, and I own all of the Star Wars, all of the Marvel MCU Tom Holland movies. I'll put these, maybe not that third one. I don't own that one. I'll have to take a look. Maybe I can find a cheap one for $1 or something. But I'll put these two up against those other movies, Far From Home, No Way Home. There's something else that's always about home. I'll put these two movies up against that and take the Pepsi challenge with that shit any day of the week. Okay, the next movie is, let's see, this is a good one. U-571. I love a good war film, and this one is a fun one with Bill Paxton, Harvey Keitel. They're a lot. It's an old World War II submarine film. Who the hell else is in this? It's not David Keith. It's not Matthew McConaughey. It's not a huge blockbuster. It doesn't get the attention of like a Das Boot or Hunt for Red October, which I just saw recently and just still holds up. It still holds up to this day, the Hunt for Red October. But this is a solid submarine war movie from the Second World War. Yeah, great adventure film. Great adventure film. It's a lot of fun to watch. I certainly wouldn't mind at any time just popping this in the player and letting it spin and, cooking up some popcorn or cracking a beer or some popcorn and a beer and, just having some fun with this one. So I'm glad to have it. That brings me next to another Ron Howard film, Cinderella Man. I love Cinderella Man. I am the American Werewolf in New Jersey. So the Cinderella Man is about, with John Bon Jovi. With John Bon Jovi, he's in U571. But this one stars Russell Crowe and Renee Zellweger, Paul Giamatti. It's a really solid film and a true story about James J. Braddock from New Jersey, Bergen County. I'm down here in Atlantic County. New Jersey is a very small state. And how he, in the middle of the Depression, went on to become the heavyweight champion of the world. He was on welfare and barely surviving. Their family was living on scraps, and just with a little bit of luck and opportunity, he took advantage of that and went on to become a great heavyweight champion. It's a really great inspirational story. It's a great aspirational story. I don't know if a lot of people today know about this film, but it's fantastic. It's got good boxing action, really, really solid boxing action. And it's true. I mean, that's the best part. I mean, I love Rocky movies and, the Creeds and all that kind of stuff. And one of my favorite boxing movies is The Boxer with Daniel Day-Lewis. That might be my favorite boxing movie, even more than the original Rocky. But this movie is very solid and still holds up. And that's the thing about dramas. Dramas are kind of timeless. You could watch a World War II drama, or you could watch, some sort of Depression era drama or Civil War, or, you could watch Lawrence of Arabia or something like that. And, they sort of just, they don't have to fit inside the blockbustery kind of thing that, we're getting so much of today. If you have not seen The Cinderella Man, please watch it. Get back to me. Put a comment in or something like that, and let me know what you think, because it's really good. Okay, the next one, The Sum of All Fears. Now, I just talked about The Hunt for Red October, where you've got Alec Baldwin playing Jack Ryan, and we've seen so many incarnations of Jack Ryan. Here we've got Ben Affleck playing him. We've had Harrison Ford play him twice in Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger, and I love those movies. We've seen John Krasinski in the Amazon series play Jack Ryan. I think Chris Pine played him once in that Shadow Recruit movie, although I've never seen it. This, however, is my favorite Jack Ryan film. It's not got the ensemble that The Hunt for Red October had. Sean Connery, Alec Baldwin, James Earl Jones, Jeffrey Jones, Stellan Skarsgård, Sam Neill. The list went on and on. But this is a very, very solid movie. And I think they changed it a little bit around and made the villains neo-Nazis, because in the Clancy novel, it was Muslim terrorists, Muslim extremists. And in the interests of being politically correct and not wanting to offend people at the time of its release, I think we were in Iraq at the time. They decided to change the nemesis in the story, the antagonist, the villains, into an uber-rich neo-Nazi organization that had infiltrated Russia as well. But fantastic movie. Morgan Freeman, Ben Affleck. Kieran Hines and I love Kieran Hines as the new Russian premier. He's been a favorite of mine since the days of Rome. If you can see that right there, Rome season 1 and 2, where he played Julius Caesar. Just one of the best series that HBO ever produced. So I'll watch pretty much anything with Kieran Hines in it. This is very solid. Okay. Oh, here we go. This ought to be fun. A 4-pack of Dirty Harry movies. So we've got, let's see, Dirty Harry. We've got Magnum Force. We've got The Enforcer. and Sudden Impact. And I am remiss in not having much Clint Eastwood in my collection, in my physical media collection. I am a huge Clint Eastwood fan. I think the only thing I might have in my collection of his is Heartbreak Ridge, where he plays the Marine Corps Gunnery Sergeant, Sergeant Highway, which is just a great movie of one-liners. Yeah, but now I've got 4 Dirty Harry movies to add to the collection, and they're all just one as good as the other. Maybe Sudden Impact is the weakest of the 4 here, but 4 Dirty Harry movies, even a weak Dirty Harry movie, is better than most cop movies out there. And, you know, Clint Eastwood is timeless now. I mean, I think he's over 90. He might still be making films. You know, I know he's semi-retired, but I know in his 80s he was putting out a bunch of high-quality content that really didn't get a lot of... all right, thanks, Tasties. Thanks for stopping by. Peace, man. Thanks for stopping in. He made a bunch of... I wouldn't exactly call them direct-to-video, but they weren't huge. The shift in Hollywood had been more pronounced. It's very hard to get dramas produced, funded, you know, made, that kind of thing. You know, because, you know, Marvel had started in 2008, you know, with Iron Man. And so, you know, everybody wanted that. Like many things, I would love to see a return to basics in terms of, you know, videos like this, dramas, you know, solid non-CGI action. I'd love to see a cop movie. When's the last time you've seen a cop movie? Especially where a cop is the hero. Imagine that. You know, that's just, you know. So I think, you know, this wave, you know, probably in the next 2 to 5 years is probably going to completely break. And, you know, if we survive it all, I think, you know, things are going to start to return to normal. And some of these genres, like action cop movies, are going to come back. And I, for one, will be glad. Okay, the next one is a politically incorrect movie about Muslim extremism called The Kingdom. And I think that this is just a great action movie with Jamie Foxx, Chris Cooper, Jennifer Gardner, Jason Bateman. This is just a great movie about FBI agents that go over to Saudi Arabia to investigate a suicide bombing that killed a bunch of Americans. And it's just a blood and guts kind of action movie that just happens to be set in the Middle East. I think it's great. It's a good, solid action movie. Good stuff. Good stuff. I think it's directed by Peter Berg. Yeah, Peter Berg. Peter Berg directed this. Peter Berg's a solid director. Very taut, very raw, very much in the tradition of Antoine Fuqua, that kind of director. This movie doesn't pull any punches. It's pretty brutal, but it's damn good. Okay, where else? Okay. 3:10 to Yuma. Did I talk about Westerns in this? I thought I did. Oh, yeah, we talked about The Missing. But 3:10 to Yuma, man, they say that every Western is a morality tale. And this certainly is a top-tier Western. It's a remake of a classic with, with Glenn Ford. Except I hate Glenn Ford. He's just so stiff. You know, there's no nuance in anything that he does. So I much prefer this with the great Christian Bale and the great Russell Crowe. Ben Foster is in this. There are a lot of good character actors in here. Just good stuff. James Mangold directed this. So again, you know, it's going to be brutal. You know, it's going to be rough. It's going to be tough, and it's going to take no monkey stuff, as my dad was once famous for saying. And the story of a man who is desperate for money, an honest man and a Civil War veteran who agrees to undertake the transport of a notorious criminal, played by Russell Crowe, to the 3:10 train to Yuma to ship him off to prison. Great film. Kevin Durand is in this. Just really, really good stuff. Okay, don't laugh at this next one, but I was a literature major in college. So as much as I love movies, I also love books. And with literature, you're usually not reading that much Lovecraft or M.R. James or Stephen King or Clive Barker or Stoker or Shelley. You might get a niche teacher who decides they want to run kind of a fun class like that, but all too often it's the basics, and they have their place. They're the foundation of literature, English literature, foreign literature, European literature, Asian literature, whatever, for a reason. They've been around for hundreds of years because they're that fucking good. And so that brings me to Focus Features Pride and Prejudice. I love this movie. It is extremely cute. And it's got Keira Knightley and Donald Sutherland and a bunch of other actors that I know to look at, but whose names, Judi Dench is in it, and Rosamund Pike is in it, Tom Hollander is in it. Yeah, it's a really solid movie about this family of sisters who are just all but one of them are looking for husbands in an honest way, and the trials and tribulations, especially of the one, Elizabeth Bennet, played by Keira Knightley, as she, meets someone who's kind of her match, which she doesn't believe, kind of exists. It's a fantastic movie. It's a fantastic film. I like dramas. I usually don't like rom-com. This isn't a rom-com, but it's a romantic drama. And I'm okay with those, especially like the more epic-y kind of things. I'm a big fan of Michael Ondaatje, the author, the Sri Lankan author, Canadian author, who wrote The English Patient. I love that movie. Some of the Merchant Ivory productions, really good stuff, really good stuff. So again, Pride and Prejudice. Okay, what is? Okay, another submarine movie. K-19, The Widowmaker. This is directed by Catherine Bigelow, and it stars Harrison Ford and Liam Neeson. And I don't remember it as being the greatest it's not Das Boot, it's not Red October, but it's pretty good, and it tells the true story, I think, of a mutiny aboard a Soviet submarine. Really, really pretty good movie. I'm going to have to check it out again. But, you've got Liam Neeson, you've got Harrison Ford. I don't remember who else is in it. I decided to take it. Why the hell not? Can't hurt. Okay, finally, to close it out, I'm not proud of it, but I grabbed the Star Wars prequels that are on DVD. I have the original 4 through 6 on Blu-ray here. I found the Blu-rays. I found a 3-pack of the Blu-rays, 4 through 6, for like $30 used. It was just, I was like, oh yeah, give me. Now, I think I bought these from my parents. I'm not the hugest fans of them, but within the context of what Filoni later did with the Clone Wars, adding some context to it, I'm a much bigger fan now. So I've got The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones. I'm not a fan of what has happened with Disney Star Wars. I think they've kind of ruined it. And Revenge of the Sith. I heard that Andor was good, but I've just been so disgusted by what's happened with, Star Wars with this latest trilogy and the series that really haven't held up at all very well, that by the time a new series has come around that I heard is actually pretty good, and that's Andor, I'm completely apathetic. So that's my media grab. That's what I grabbed from Dad. So thanks, Dad. I appreciate it very much. And I'm going to give him a good home and take good care of him. My thanks to Video Tasties for stopping into the comments, into the chat and saying hi. I appreciate it very much. I'll be back at 1 o'clock. It's 7 minutes after 12. I'll be back at 1 o'clock with Cinema Cities to talk about Black Crab. which is another shit hot war movie that was released this year. It was released at the same time as the Ukraine war broke out, when people were like, what the fuck is happening here? And we saw people getting run over with tanks and, this kind of thing. And it hit hard. And it stars Noomi Rapace, and it's a pretty good fucking movie. And so, of course, because it's good, no one's going to talk about it because, the good stuff isn't mainstream anymore. The good stuff is, in a separate category by itself, but that's why I'm here to bring it to you. So thank you very much. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment. My best to everybody, and I've got 2 more streams coming up later on today. It certainly is Werewolf Wednesday, so all the best to everyone. Take care. All right, have a good one, and